This is the all-new Apple Watch Series 9 that Apple has spent months in the lab engineering and designing with the things like a 30% faster processor, so your watch is way faster at opening notifications, a 2 times brighter display, so everything is much more visible, and the crown jewel of everything, the double tap feature. If you can only use one hand, you just double tap your fingers to do a certain action on the watch. You can also clench the whole fist once or twice, or use single or a double pinch, so pretty much navigating throughout the whole UI is available to you. Except this same feature was already available for the Apple Watch for years, all the way back in 2018 as a double pinch to go backwards. And then the feature grew more and more with time, but it was always buried deep down in the settings. You would need to go to Watch app on your iPhone, and then to accessibility, and then search for it somewhere deep down. And this watch right here, and sorry I lied to you guys, it's not even the Series 9, it's my 2-year-old Series 7 that looks absolutely identical. When I was buying it, I knew that the redesign is not gonna be happening anytime soon, and I was totally right. The most meaningful upgrades, at least to me, were introduced that year, with a 20% larger display that covers everything from edge to edge. And for the first time, fast charging, which I cannot even describe to you how useful has it been. Coming from some other smartwatches that used to last 2 to 3 weeks on a single charge, I knew that I was about to make a huge sacrifice in the battery department. But as it turned out, I usually take this watch off every time I take a shower, just because I don't like bands to be wet afterwards. So it always charges for 20 minutes here and there, and that is totally enough for me, and I didn't even notice the battery being that weak. So in 2021, the regular Apple Watch pretty much hit the peak of its design and its capabilities. And I was really wondering what kind of mental gymnastics will Apple try to do to convince you to buy this new one. Because even the last year's 8 was a very bad upgrade, with the only new feature being a temperature sensor that would be totally useless to me since I pretty much never get sick. And now we come to the Series 9, and I know it's like a meme each year that every new iPhone is the same as the year before, and while that was the case with the regular 14 models, the Pro models are constantly getting better and better, because that is the market where Apple has by far the most competition. But Apple Watch, at least for the first 5 or 6 generations, was the absolute staple as the best smartwatch. And then it really started showing that they got lazy and just kept the best upgrades just for the Ultra model. So the double tap feature, which I used forever, is now just a little bit more intuitive, with a slightly less accidental taps, but it's still so clear that it's just a rebranded old feature. And Apple has been guilty of using this strategy quite a lot lately, rebranding an already existing feature as something new. The next big thing that they mentioned is the display brightness, which actually is the biggest change this year in my opinion, but keep in mind that the brightness displayed in nits that every company talks about grows logarithmically and not linearly. So that is more like a 30 to 40% increase in brightness from 1000 from the year before, but definitely not double the amount. And lastly, the new S9 processor, which is about 30% faster now, but it's still gonna be useful only for Siri and taking actions on the watch itself instead of going to the internet, like it previously had to do. But since Siri is still pretty much trash, I don't even use it, except to like set up an alarm or to call someone. The moment you want to start a more complex conversation with it, it just becomes a mess, and Apple really needs to fix that. So at the end of the day, it's not like a 30% faster processor is gonna bring you anything new on the Apple Watch. But of course they mentioned how it really enabled them to do this new double tap feature. Really though? Seems convenient. So finally, what would I recommend to you guys? If you wanna buy a new Apple Watch now, some people are saying to go to the Series 9 just if you're coming from a way older Apple Watch, which I wouldn't even agree with. Right now, you can find a brand new Series 7 that is like 95% of the Series 9 for almost $200 less, which is like $30 cheaper than the SE model. Or if you're not in a rush, you can just wait for the next bigger upgrade, which is probably gonna be happening next year, since the first redesign was with the Series 4, then with the Series 7, and now the Apple Watch 10 is coming in 2024. And there are already rumors of them using the magnetically attaching bands, the watch being way slimmer and lighter with the same battery, and more. Hope you enjoyed this shorter video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to see more of what's coming pretty soon, and you can always support me on my Patreon and visit my website. Thanks for watching.